numerous industrial consultancy and sponsored research projects. Designing a sonar homing system for the first ever torpedo developed by India, designing a CDMA communication system, and drawing the R&D plan for the development of cognitive radio for DRDO are a few among them. The Boys Cast Research Grant from the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India in 1987, the Baroda Chapter National Award of ISTE in 2007, and the Best Student Paper Award in the 1984 IEEE Region 10 Graduate Paper Contest are among the distinctions held by him. He is a senior member of the IEEE and served as General Chair, TPC Chair, and member of committees of several national and international conferences. Thank you very much.
The profile of our esteemed chief guest is a testimony for his profound knowledge and experience. By three methods we inherit wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is hardest. The recipients of the degree are really privileged to inherit the wisdom and experience from such an erudite scholar at this solemn ceremony.
With great pleasure, I invite our chief guest, Professor Dr. R.V. Rajakumar, to deliver the graduation address.
Good evening, everybody. Members on the dais, off the dais, esteemed faculty colleagues, graduating are those who have graduated last year and going to have the ceremony this year, guests, members of the media, both print and electronic, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to be with you all on this important occasion of the convocation ceremony. I feel privileged to be amongst you this evening and deliver the convocation address. It is heartening to note that more than 900 students graduated at undergraduate level, and about 300 plus students graduated with a postgraduate degree. And students of 4 departments are here in this particular session. The disciplines of electronics and communication engineering, electrical engineering, instrumentation engineering, and fashion technology have several emerging developments, and it is needless to mention that it provides enormous scope for the young graduates to build their career and contribute enormously to the society. I would like to take this opportunity to speak about some of the areas and rather career areas where lots of things are happening, and there are some of the areas where the young engineers can try after gaining an year or two, an experience of a year or two. Most of these areas have been traditionally well known, and they offer careers ranging from carrying out techno-managerial jobs to the research-oriented or teaching careers. Almost every one of these branches offer that kind of scope. Areas like telecommunication have been traditionally known for a long time, but lots of happenings are taking place. If you see mobile communications or the broad area of telecommunications, and of a recent offshoot of the broad area of telecommunications, is growing leaps and bounds. In our country, where all of us thought that there is a serious rural-urban divide in the technology usage, This is one area where the rural-urban divide was not even visible. Very seamlessly and in a very short time, the rural-urban divide was overcome. And today we have about 95 to 100 crores of mobile users in this country. Maybe it would be between the number of users would be between 80 to 90 crores. And the number of connections would be somewhat close to 100 crores in this country of 120 crores of population. The other area where the rural-urban divide could be very easily overcome is the television technology. In almost all other areas, there exists a rural-urban divide, and that creates a good opportunity, and there lies a good opportunity for the youngsters, for the young technocrats of the country. Coming back to the mobile communications, just 2 decades back, the culture of communication was different. I could see people running in railway stations from the coaches to nearby public call office and making calls to their wards or calls to their parents, particularly the students. And nowadays the culture has totally changed. Service industry flourished a lot in the country and still growing leaps and bounds. And coming to the research in this area, we had the 2nd generation cellular and then the 3rd generation and 4th generation cellular which has come up. The technologies have changed. The multiple access system has been changed. Within a short period, how a multiple access system could be changed? The multiple access systems have been changed for the sake of improving the bandwidth efficiency or the spectrum efficiency, to be precise. The spectrum efficiency is measured in terms of bits per second per hertz of bandwidth. And in the past we used to have roughly about half bits per second per hertz kind of bandwidth provisioning, or spectral efficiency. Whereas nowadays, the spectral efficiency has gone up to 4 bits per second or even 8 bits per second per hertz. So how to have this kind of spectral efficiency and use the channel capacity to the fullest extent is one area where a lot of research work is going on world over. Though Indians have been good users of mobile communication technology, Indians can play a major role in creating intellectual property and creating technologies in this area. We are seriously lagging in that area. Similarly, if you see embedded systems, the way embedded systems are being used everywhere in many devices, including even washing machines, is mind-boggling, and the embedded system market is increasing leaps and bounds. Not far long back, we were implementing analog systems, and after that we started implementing digital systems, and digital systems replacing analog systems. We were using some general purpose digital signal processors to do this job. And suddenly we found that the signal processing chip making companies stopped producing newer and newer families of I shouldn't say stopped, but they have reduced the pace at which the newer generations of chips are supposed to be built. You know the reason why this kind of change has taken place? We started using implementing digital signal processing processor cores on FPGAs and started using FPGAs as system on a chip. And earlier we used to do it for producing prototypes, but now we started using the FPGA route for producing the integrated circuits themselves. And of course, when we like to produce it in large numbers, we do produce a chip from a typical FPGA for the sake of improving the energy efficiency and also to reduce the area of the chip. In this area of electronics and telecommunication, or in the broad area of electrical engineering, there are certain other areas where there is a tremendous scope. Education technology is one area where we have a tremendous scope for applying technology for learning and for teaching purposes. And there is a huge potential for people to take entrepreneurship as well as to offer services. NPTEL and academies like the Khan Academy and the MIT initiative are certain steps towards generating world-class content and making it available for the public, for the knowledge seekers to use world over. Particularly in our country like India, where we have limited teaching resources and huge number of young citizens to be educated, we have tremendous scope for using the technology in this area. My university, which I am heading and which is being founded or co-founded by me in my role as a head of the institution, is the first formal user of the NPTEL content in the whole country. And we have about 21,000 students on roll. And by the end of this month, it's going to be 24,000. We use the electronic content and video lecture content extensively in the classrooms. And we use it in the form of a stored media. Otherwise, you need a very high bandwidth connectivity for utilizing the video lectures into the courses. It is well received by students. Education is going on extremely well. Maybe this is not a right forum to share a lot of experience we have gained in this direction. But I would like to say that a lot of opportunities do exist in this area. And certainly school education is one area where we need to concentrate and we can use technology. As I said, there is rural-urban divide. Education is one area where there is a serious rural-urban divide. There are several other areas. Amongst them, I would like to mention about one important area. That is the medicine. Providing health coverage to all citizens of India is a dream of anybody who is any concerned Indians. Certainly, we have a good scope for providing good coverage of health care to the Indians residing in rural areas through telemedicine. Although we have been talking about telemedicine for long, at least for the last 1 decade, I would like to say that we haven't done much. And this is one area where there is scope for some of you to take entrepreneurship. Then coming to electrical engineering, energy is one requirement where Indians, the per capita consumption in India is much less compared to the power consumption elsewhere in the world. We have a generating capacity to the tune of 2.2 lakh megawatts of power, including including all forms of electrical power generation, with only about 12.5% being generated through non-conventional means. And about 2 to 3 decades back, all of us were hoping that the nuclear energy would reduce the energy bill significantly. But then the nuclear energy component in our country today is only to the extent of 2.5%. And of late, there are serious concerns, environmental concerns, which are coming up everywhere. And people are not willing to have a nuclear energy facility in any surroundings, whether it is rural areas or urban areas. Of course, there is no scope for taking this kind of risk at thickly populated areas. Certainly improving the efficiency of solar photovoltaics, deploying the solar photovoltaics in the form of microgrids at small places and in residential premises is where lies a tremendous opportunity for some of the youngsters like you to take the challenge to take to manufacturing and marketing and offering services. There is a huge potential in the infrastructure area. A lot of infrastructure development projects are taking place. Almost every infrastructure area has some power installations or electrical power installations needed, and as a result there are excellent opportunities for youngsters like you to manufacture, to market, and also to carry on as employees with some other entrepreneurs. Every apartment building I see a lot of serious electrical installations taking place, and you certainly need an electrical engineer to design the installations and to get it installed and even to maintain. Similarly, there are other areas of electrical engineering which offer a tremendous scope for youngsters like you to make your career in and also contribute. I'm not competent to talk much about the fashion technology area, but certainly apparel is required for every living persons, and also, if I can say, even some of the pets. We also try to robe a pet and bring up the pets. Apparels are important, whether old fashion or new fashion. Apparel technology is important. And it seems some of the Oriental countries, including the neighboring Bangladesh, is doing extremely well and captured the international market in the apparel technology area. So certainly we need to go a long way in making use of the fashion technology, bringing it to the use within the country, and also to explore the possibility of capturing the market elsewhere in the world. So, my dear youngsters who have just graduated and then taken up jobs at at different industries and organizations. I congratulate you on the eve of your graduation ceremony and for having successfully completed your education and entering into the professional world. I also thank the members of the faculty and the KCT for reaching yet another milestone. I believe this time, because of the increased number of graduating students, you have 3 sessions of convocation happening, and certainly it's a milestone. Every graduation ceremony is a milestone in the history of an educational institution, and I congratulate KCT for reaching this milestone. I thank profusely the KCT administration and Professor J.S. Rao for giving me this opportunity to stand before you and give my message as a senior professional and also as an educationist. And lastly, I would like to remind you of one thing. Technology is for the sake of society, and technology is for mankind, and humanity should be lasting.